Jason, the team has been working to resolve an electrical issue within the stadium since Labor Day weekend. Is that correct?
That is correct, September 3rd.
So what exactly, a question everyone is wanting to know the answer to, what happened?
So it's pretty well publicized that we've got water in the stadium, and it found its way to one of 3 electrical substations in the stadium, and it caused enough damage that the entire substation has to be replaced.
So what's the solution?
So we're really working on a 2-track path right now. The permanent fix is to replace that substation. However, it may not be surprising, there's some supply chain issues on some of the parts. That's going to take some time. In addition, the original substation was built and put in the stadium before the walls were around it. Can't do that now. We have to rebuild the entire thing on site in the room. And while that's happening, we're pursuing a temporary electrification plan. And you may have noticed, or fans may have noticed, that there's a temporary transformer on the west side of the building. All of that equipment has been installed, and we're starting the process of re-energizing the impacted areas of the stadium.
So what would you say the current status of the stadium is right now?
Yeah, so as I mentioned, we've got the temporary equipment installed, and now we'll start the process of re-energizing the building. It impacts about 1/3 of the stadium. And the process, generally, to put it in layman's terms, because I'm not an electrician, is you kind of go back and start turning back on all the switches. And it takes a little time, and just like if the power goes out in your house, there could be issues when the power comes back on. And so if there are issues, we'll troubleshoot along the way until all of the power is fully restored.
So all this sounds pretty expensive. Now, I'm sure there's no discount codes or coupons you could use into this, so I'm going to be nosy and ask how expensive it was.
Yeah, obviously the 2-track path that we're pursuing, it is a little costly, and especially compared to the original build because of supply chain issues and price increases and things. But the ownership group is fully committed to getting the stadium up and running as soon as possible. And this path, the 2-path system that we're pursuing, will do that, enable events to start occurring, full stadium events start occurring as soon as possible.
Okay, so besides learning how to cope with less sleep and maybe more stress, what else has the club learned from all this?
You know, the construction process and the process of building a team is we've found is very unpredictable. But what we've learned is that if you hire excellent people, have a committed ownership group, and tremendous partners like our construction partners, you can get through it and sometimes even make things better than you thought to begin with.
For fans that are maybe nervous about everything going on right now, what message do you have for them?
No problem. Certainly by next season, it'll all be up and operational.
So you mentioned hosting events here throughout the past month or so. How has that impacted those?
Yeah, so keep in mind the electricity is only an issue in about 1/3 of the stadium. So we've hosted many events. We had 7,000 people here for BizDash, many corporate events and similar events. And so it really hasn't impacted us. And while that all went on, we were able to complete kind of finishing touch work on the stadium. So it looks better than ever. And we're looking forward to opening up the rest of the stadium shortly and having more events, including full stadium events.
Jason, as the club's chief operating officer, you've been through a lot since day one. Yeah. How are you feeling ahead of the inaugural season?
Yeah, so Chris and I was one of the first employees. I've been with the project since the very beginning. We've had a couple bumps along the road, but I think we're really excited. The stadium looks great. We're going to open it up soon, have full stadium events here, and it's really going to create a tremendous difference for the city of St. Louis.